Hello and welcome to the APTA Grand Prix Series. We are live at the Philly Open at the Waynesboro Country Club on the APTA Network presented by eNet Live. I'm Jerry Viant along with Patty Hogan, and it's time for the women's final. Patty, tell us who will be watching this morning.
Well, we have a great matchup, Jerry, here between our tournament number 2 seeds, Cynthia Dardis and Amy Shay, and our tournament number 3 seeds, Martina Ondrejkova and Gabriela Niculescu.
Niculescu?
Yes, again. And
no worries.
Gabby and Martina pulled off the upset of the tournament so far, taking out Carrie Delmonico and Lauren Gebbia, who were the tournament number 1 seeds last night, in a thrilling 7-6 tiebreaker in the third set. These two teams have met during the season, and they each have a win, so their head-to-head is 1-1, which makes this exciting. Cynthia Dardis is the shorter of the two players with what color is your vest?
I'm thinking I'm going with crimson or cranberry, maybe.
Cranberry vest. Cynthia plays the deuce court for this team, and they have been a team who has played forever. They know the game. Cynthia is a teaching professional at several clubs up in the Connecticut area. She's playing with her longtime friend and longtime partner, Amy Shay, who plays the ad court. She's the taller player of the two. Amy's a little bit more explosive. Cynthia's a little bit more the setter-upper. When they get to net on this brutally cold day, I'm pretty confident we'll see Cynthia's trademark drop shot come out. And their opponents here, Gabby and Martina. Martina's in the deuce court with the blue jacket, and she's a beautiful all-around player. She is a teaching professional up in Darien, Connecticut at the Weburn Club. And she's paired up here with Gabriela, who is one of the most exciting players to come into the game the last couple of years. And Gabriela teaches with Guga at Millbrook, and together as a team, they've made great strides. They have a win this year in one of the Grand Prix events. I think this match will be really exciting, and I think it would be important for Cynthia and Amy, as the older veteran team here, to come out strong. I think yesterday was a grueling day of platform tennis.
Yeah.
Really fun, high level of play at the end of the day, but then sometimes it's hard to come back and reach that high level of performance, and that's what I think it's important. If anybody's off to a quick start, it would be Cynthia and Amy.
Mm-hmm. I remember this time last year when Gabby and Martina actually played the first tournament together and beat Roxy and Liz Cruz. And that was like their first breakthrough into the big time. And now this year they've had a solid season. You know, they got to the semifinals in their first Grand Prix tournament in the Patterson. They lost to Dardis and Shay in that match 7-5, 6-2. And then they went out to Chicago and they won that tournament, beating Dardis and Shay in the semifinals, 6-4 in the third. Quarterfinals, Long Island, they lost to a red-hot Bodman Hayward, 3 sets, 6-1 in the third. Lake Invitational, they had a semifinal, played Anna and Vicky, number 1 team in the country, and lost 7-5 in the third, and they had chances to win that match. And then last weekend in Short Hills, they were lost in the semis to Carrie Delmonico and Lauren Gebbia, and that was 3 sets. So they've really played some great tournaments all the way through the season. I think they're primed for a breakthrough. Very impressed yesterday with Gabby's improvement in the screen. So last year she was a little blocker and not knowing, really what to do in there as well as what she's doing now. So she got most of those balls, and Carrie Delmonico has a fantastic overhead, a tremendous touch with a lot of spin, and tricky to play her shots, and I thought Gabby handled them well. The next step in her progress is going to be how to build a point out of those screens. And then Martina, she has a fabulous serve. She faltered a few times yesterday, but she kept swinging, and they stayed together as a team. And that, positiveness working as one, as you know, wins close matches. So I'm going to be looking for them to go out gangbusters right off the bat. I expect a little bit of nerves because this is a big stage. It's important to them. And Amy and Cynthia, I mean, come on. Hats off to this team. I think Amy has a fantastic overhead. You're going to see it. I think it's very underrated, but she can hit a dime with that overhead. She lets the ball drop, and she's got this heavy spin on it that stays deep and low in the court, so you can't attack it. Their play is always to put Cynthia on the right, close to the net, so she is looking for that brutal drop shot. She'll even hit a drop overhead if she can, and like you said, I'm expecting to see a lot of that play. And Amy, she's got a wingspan of a 747. She can hit off of both sides, and they're the team to beat. So I'm looking forward to a great match. Temperature is a balmy 10 right
10
now.
10 degrees here in Philadelphia.
Not as windy as last night, thank God.
And Tim McAvoy, our chair umpire, is the person who's most thrilled that the wind is down today. He's up there bundled up, and Tim is a veteran. He's called lots of these final matches, and he will handle this circumstance beautifully. All the players know Tim, and we spoke about it briefly yesterday. We're in Philadelphia. It's brotherly love here. It is paddle love here. They welcome all of us. Mm-hmm. We love driving down the turnpike. We kind of get that feeling as former players about the excitement we felt, and a lot of that comes from the McAvoy family. Lori's doing a great job with her son Peter over at Radley Run, promoting the junior game, and this whole area here. Annie Shay's done a great job right here out of Waynesboro with Flatco to build the junior game. So this is a great paddle spot.
And
really
they've just
exciting.
added a sixth court to their facility.
Yes. They're ready for nationals next year.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we'll be back here.
So Jerry, for Amy and Cynthia to come through, I think that one of the keys has got to be how they can defend Gabby's return of serve, because I felt that Gabby's return of serve was such a key in their win yesterday over Delmonico and Gebbia. So I'll be curious how they handle that. That tends to be a little bit of a vulnerable spot for Dardis and Shay, and this is where in the cold weather the advantage even goes more toward the return of server.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they'll probably start out playing regular. If it's not working, they'll switch to Australian. They very rarely give up the net on their service game, but it might be plan C today if needs be, because they'll find a way to get into the point.
And I kind of recommend that it almost goes to their plan B, because I think Gabby has proved beyond a reasonable doubt she can hit that ball off of any serve. And Carrie Delmonico in the semifinals has one of the best serves in the women's game in terms of its depth and spin, variety, and placement. And Gabby handled it, I mean, beautifully.
If Dardis and Shay have to lob well. If they lob short, Gabby is going to go right at Cynthia, as we saw in Chicago, and Cynthia's got to duck, not get hit, and then come up and try and chase that ball. So their foot speed is going to be a factor too, to keep up with those hard spinning overheads. If they lob deep, which they normally do, it'll negate that offensive play. It'll be interesting to see who comes out ready to go.
And for Gabby and Martina, I think what you enjoy watching about their game develop here is their ability to build the points. They're doing a much better job having more purpose behind each of the shots. Instead of just lobbing to lob, they're trying to move it around. And that's another little unique skill about platform tennis that maybe you don't recognize it watching it on the live streaming, but you see it in players who have the ability to take any shot, redirect a lob to try to open up the court to set up the offensive weapons.
Well, I see that improvement in Gabby's game since she's gone over and started working under Guga Gonzalez. He understands screenplay. He absolutely knows how to build a point. And that's where I think the improvement has come, and they're playing together as a team. But I'd like to see Martina step up a little closer to the baseline and cut off some of those balls. She got caught a little bit yesterday by Kerry's soft overhead in the screens because she was a little bit deep in the court. But it's contrasting styles. It's the veteran savviness, and do not underestimate their will to fight and battle for every single point. Cynthia, more than anybody out there, knows how to compete, and she makes you fight for every ball. I mean, and she practices that in her practice match. I had a regular 1 o'clock Tuesday practice game, Lauren Mandel and I, against these guys, and you would think we were playing for the Nationals every Tuesday afternoon. I mean, it was brutal. Recreational paddle, it was not. We had fun, but they fight for every single ball, and they practice the same way that they play these matches. And I think a lot of players should take a leaf out of their book. Expect to show up and be committed in the finals or in a tournament. You have to practice with that intensity. You can't just expect it to appear all by itself.
And that practice has led them to really having one of the most amazing records in the game the past decade, where they are always in semis and finals of most events. And they're looking to have a breakthrough here today under this big stage in Philadelphia, in the hopes that that can give them some momentum going into nationals, where they're really looking to...
It's the only tournament they haven't won.
...get to the finals.
It's hard to believe.
One semifinal appearance, lots of quarterfinal appearances.
Is this going to be the year?
So maybe this can be a key part of them figuring it all out. And it takes so many parts to succeed at the end, as you know, Jerry. And it's a lot of hard work, a little bit of luck, a ton of resilience.
I think they're really going after it. It's going to be in their hometown, backyard. They'll get a lot of family support. All 4 players are teaching professionals in the area. So,
and Jerry, one of the unique things about the sport is we're watching the warm-up here. Tim McAvoy, the umpire, wishes they would get going, but the women will go through a procedure where they'll practice their serves on the side of the court, which they'll be serving on during the first set. So Gabriella and Cynthia are not a team, in fact. They're opponents, and oftentimes you'll warm up, hit some serve, get a few returns off, start warming up your first volley, just kind of get the feel for each other here in the warm-up.
Yeah, the guys always say, what are they doing? They've been doing it. I mean, when I came into the game, it's just what you do.
Right, and I can remember playing you early on, Jerry. You kind of ordering me to a side.
Suggesting.
And I didn't even realize you took a lot of warm-up serves. So, you know, you kind of learn along the way.
I was not from the Bobo school of practice serves, however.
And we're talking about Bobo Delaney, our friend and great player.
Yeah.
Distinguished accomplishments in this sport, and just was inducted into the Hall of Fame at the Short Hills Invitational last weekend.
Yeah, that was a fun event. Short Hills really did a wonderful job. It was the 65th anniversary of the Short Hills Invitational, and they invited all the past champions to come to the dinner. It was where Bobo was inducted, and we just had a lot of wonderful stories and history, and people flew in from all over the country.
Hall of Famer John Mangan,
right.
Hank Irvine was able to introduce Bobo and kind of give a lengthy introduction, and then he did get around to Bobo in the induction. But it was so fun. Deanne Strauss Tucker was there. Lots of the former players who
Cindy
amazing
came
on-court accomplishments.
Sally Cunningham.
Sally and Chris came from the Midwest, from out in Chicago. Cindy Prendergast always makes me laugh. One of my longtime partners. It was really a great event, and it got to celebrate the birthday of an incredible tournament in our sport, the Short Hills Invitational.
And it showcased why we all love the sport, is the camaraderie. I mean, we're all all out there competing, but at the end of the day, it's a fun sport, and it's the people that you meet, and it was just a wonderful event. So well done to the Short Hills Club.
And one of the differences from tennis going over to platform tennis, and some of these young players are learning this. You're part of the sport, and we all get the opportunity from time to time to carry the torch in the sport, and the great players who have great successes embrace that and understand they're just a part of it, and that's what the players learn coming over from tennis, because the camaraderie and competition in this sport is amazing, and as adults we get to play this great game, and everyone out here is grateful for that. So it looks like Cynthia Dardis will start serving.
Mm-hmm. Starting Australian, serving to Gabby.
30, low.
It's a great return of serve. That armpit, right armpit up high, with Gabby coming in. Martina is just so smooth.
Martini is the deuce court player with the gray pants on, a pom-pom on top of her hat. Gabriella is in the ad court.
40, 15.
Cynthia and Amy are taking plenty of time here in between points, making sure they know what each other's going to do on this return.
We've just got an update on the other men's semi-final. Broderick and Palmer are up 4-3 in the second set. They won the first set.
That's that cut overhead, Jerry, you were talking about?
Yes.
From Amy?
Yep. Look, there it is again. That's what you're going to see. It's
Keeps
a
the ball
heavy-
low and produces a lot of short lobs that she can handle the next ball off.
And that's the formation. Nice touch by Cynthia. That's the formation that they always play. They put Cynthia on the right, looking for the short ball to drop. Amy takes all those overheads. Amy really is one of the best all-round players in the game. She doesn't have any real weaknesses. She's got laser-like drives. I mean, she can pick her spots. She lobs well. And like I said, of course, she has a 747 wingspan. So she likes to swoop. It's quite intimidating to have her swooping to the middle of the court, coming to hit her drives.
So, Jerry, it looks like Gabby's going to start serving here, which is a little bit of a surprise for me. But she's such an amazing first volleyer that she seems to compensate for a little bit of a shaky serve.
I thought she served well yesterday.
I thought she did a great job.
She's serving down the tee, cutting down the angle, and that's going to be important, especially when she serves to Amy. That's a part of the game that I think Cynthia has improved on this year. She's really stepping up and hitting her forehand. That's a tough call for Cynthia to make cross court like that early in the match too.
It's on the at-court player's sideline baseline. It's really her call to make. The umpire immediately overruled loss of point.
There's the 747. And Amy picks her spot. She's so accurate, and it's a heavy, heavy ball.
This is a phenomenal start for Dardis and Shay. This is what they had to do, and they are so determined here. I love the aggressive play.
Good timing off of that return. That was a smart adjustment for Gabby to stay back on that return. They can find a way to get into the point, get past those first 3 hits, and that's why you're seeing more and more changes of net positioning in the game. Because the returner serves have just gotten so big, so you have to find a tactic that works. A deadly lob that Amy just sent up there deep. They were lucky to get out of that. She pulled Martina all the way behind Gabby, and then where are you going to go with that overhead? So you see Martina, she lines up to the right of the center strap. And then as soon as Gabby serve crossed her, she took a step to the left and took that middle third away from Cynthia. It was a smart move to duck.
And that's where Amy's unloading. Gabby's got to stay to her right.
Watch Gabby now. I mean Martina now. She's to the right. Serve crosses, and then she takes that middle third. Cynthia needs to see that and start picking a different spot. Good hold.
Ondrejkova, games are 1-1.
One of the things to look for, Jerry, in this match is I thought Cynthia did a great job of setting up Amy. Amy came in on 2 short balls and missed them. I think she's got to pick a target on a body. Can't afford to miss those short balls.
Love 15.
You don't get that many opportunities, and when you get them, you've got to make them count.
Over the net. You have a 50-50 chance. If you hit it out, that they'll play it. Wow.
Love 30.
So both Martina and Gabby have hit wide return of serve with touch, which is hard to do in this temperature and also early in the match. So they must be feeling pretty comfortable right now. Surprised that Amy and Cynthia stayed on the side for that long.
I was really surprised, and that's a little bit of a vulnerable spot. Amy's a little bit better low volleyer, has much more reach than Cynthia.
Hands up at net.
40.
So we've got 2 break points on Amy's serve here in the early go.
Amy had made the decision to stay back.
So we're at 30-40. They're trying to figure out how they can fight through Gabby's return here. They're still deciding.
These guys, they're like an old married couple. They know each other inside out.
So you're looking for Dardis Shay to switch.
Yeah.
Get Amy to handle more of the overheads. Get Cynthia in a position where maybe she can even come up with her signature drop shot.
Yeah, but also Cynthia's overhead is flat. They're really not going to have that much trouble with them in the screens like they would with Amy's, like more spin on it. Gabby Martino got to start adding to their repertoire of offensive plays by building the point off of the screenplay, picking certain spots and then shifting their position on the court to set up their strength. Right now, I mean, they're hitting good lobs, but they're just staying in exactly the same part of the court, so the court looks the same to Cynthia and Amy. They're not putting any pressure on where they put their overheads. There it is. First drop shot. Can you keep a drop shot tally there, Patty?
1. Yes, I can, Jerry.
Patty keeps all our stats. Multitasking.
Players get 30 seconds in theory in between serves, and the server dictates the pace of play. You don't want to take too long when it's 5 degrees out.
Advantage, Shay.
Part of the game, that let serve. Cynthia's playing Australian, staying low, so Amy can serve down the tee if she wants. Counts, right? That was a drop shot.
Drop shot winners or just
no,
drop shot?
Drop shots. Unless you want to keep 2 separate stats. Good eye.
Ball is out. Game, Shay, Dardis, and Shay. Dardis and Shay lead the first set, 2-1.
And we've just got an update on the men's semi-final. Drew Broderick and Jared Palmer are up 5-4 in the second set, having won the first set. That match started at the same time as the other men's semi-final.
When I walked in, Jerry, I had the opportunity to stand outside and just watch for about 12 minutes, and about 3 points were played in that semifinal match. Really incredible clap. And Chris Gambino, I love watching him play. I don't get to see him that much. He's about to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And he's up against his former partner, Drew Broderick. They won a Nationals together, and great competition out there. Martinez serving. Dardis and Shay up 2-1. This is the finals of the Philadelphia Open, hosted by Waynesboro Country Club in beautiful Wayne, Pennsylvania.
Great grab.
And I don't want to dwell on it, Jerry, but I just feel like when Amy gets that short ball, she's got to be thinking the right side or the right hip of one of the net players.
Now you see Cynthia throwing up those high, deep lobs, and Amy looking to come over and take that ball in the middle of the court. Amy and Cynthia manage their speed of play. You are not going to rush them.
30 all.
We saw this a little bit yesterday with Martina.
And perhaps that's why Gabby served first today. But I like the miss. Cynthia's going for the height and getting some depth, and she'll kind of find her range here, but I don't mind seeing a long lob.
And one of her offensive plays is to blitz off of those high lobs. So we'll be watching for that too.
Again, a great return from Cynthia, kind of setting the tone from that deuce court here on the returns.
So Martinez slides straight to the middle and straddle that center line with her backhand volley ready. She took the high percentage shot away from Amy, who was able to hit a drop shot. So her positioning before Amy hit the shot. I like the fact that Cynthia's stepping in and really swinging at her forehand. It used to be that she would just set up Amy. Now having a drive coming out of that side is...
Advantage, Ondrejkova.
Amy's just rushing a little bit.
Back to deuce, I love what I'm seeing footwork-wise here out of Cynthia Dardis. I've just been kind of watching her a little bit, and she is in this for, she's fighting hard.
Advantage, Ondrejkova.
One of the things we continue to work to look for in this match, Jerry, is right now, I have a new stat called the conversion rate. I'll tell you about it in 1 second. It's a short, drivable ball. Does she end up winning the point? She's 0 for 5 so far.
Good deep lob by Cynthia, which pulled Gabby out of the service box. She needed to take one more step back to get behind that ball. Oof, that overhit's too short, landed on the service line.
Good return, amazing drop shot, winner off of Martina's volley. She held her hand up. I'm only kidding about that. It was a mishit. She acknowledged that to her opponents.
Martina's too far back in the court. She needs to get closer to that baseline. Longest point of the match. Got to commit to your forehand and just move your feet.
And that's one of the disadvantages. If you tend to play deep, you do open up the court and you could be vulnerable to someone hitting the nick. Another beautiful return. Huge return here. Break point opportunity for Dardis and Shay. Martina serving 1-2, first set of this final match. And that play right there by Gabby kind of cutting the ball off was really a key to them winning yesterday and taking out Delmonico Gebbia. We are back to deuce.
Advantage, Shay. Game to Dardis and Shay. Dardis and Shay lead 3 games to 1.
That was a big break.
That was big, and I love what Amy did there. She took a two-handed backhand, lined it up, and just hit it straight ahead. Gave the volleyer, in this case it was Martina, an opportunity, to hit a volley, and she missed it. Cynthia Dardis serving.
It's important that Amy and Cynthia get off to a good start, as you said, and they get off to a good start, they're hard to stop. Let's To me right now, Gabby and Martina have a game plan. They're reacting to Dardis and Shay right now. Gotta let that low ball go through. Be so disciplined when you make up your mind you're going to blitz, to keep your hands up, and if the ball goes below your hands, let it go through. Gabby mentally was not in that game at all. I watched her. She was looking at the points going on the other court, and she just kind of checked out, and cannot afford to do that against Dardis and Shay.
And all the credit to Cynthia Dardis right there. She served that ball up the tee, and that's the serve we thought would be effective against Gabby. And that's the one that we didn't see Lauren Gebbia. She couldn't hit that because of Kerry's positioning yesterday in the semis. Right there is beautifully open. Cynthia executed 4-1 here. They're off to the start that they really needed here.
Drew Broderick, Jared Palmer just won their semi-final match, 4-4, so they are through to the finals, men's finals, which will follow this women's final match, and they'll be playing Johan Durant and Mark Parsons. So the number 1 and 2 seeds. Everybody is buzzing about this match.
To your point, what you just said about Gabby, I saw her kind of watching that men's match over there, and it is an exciting men's match to watch, but she's got to be focused right here. They've got to come up with a plan. They don't feel like they're working at all together as a team. And Cynthia and Amy are right there. Is that an overrule, Jerry, or just a non-call? Couldn't tell.
Better off letting those low balls go through, because even if you make it, you are bowling up. And then your net players are right there to stick it down. Let it go through. Let your partner behind hit a high lob, and you get back in the point.
Ondrejkova, Dardis and Shay lead 4 games to 2, first set.
A little bit of a loose game from Dardis Shay there. I'm surprised. This is what they have to do. They get the lead, and they've got to close the deal. They tend to let people stick around a little bit.
Serve out. Love 15.
The spark from Gabby here in the early going in this match.
No, she went away. She went away, but she's tried. Well, she went to give her a high five, and I said the team chemistry is so important, that you play as one unit, share that space and the energy.
15-30.
There we go. Watch the body language of Amy and Cynthia, and it doesn't change. There's not a lot of high energy or excitement in their demeanor. That's their style. But make no mistake, they are a team.
Gabby unloaded on that last return. I expect the same right here.
Game. Niculescu, Ondrejkova, Dardis and Shay lead 4 games to 3, first set.
I don't know if you can hear our master umpire, Tim McAvoy, announcing the score here, and he looks like he's kind of staying warm. He's got a lot of layers up there, and he's doing a great job of managing this match. And sometimes when the play goes so fast, there are going to be some calls that might not be the correct call, and you need an umpire who's decisive on the spot. Everyone respects his decision making, and he just keeps the match moving.
I always like having an umpire. Take the pressure off, and you just take that thought out of your mind and just play.
It's nice to have someone keep score for you.
Yeah, I have you.
It's not my strength. So Martina's serving, 3-4, first set.
She can put some serves in the box. Another deep lob by Cynthia.
Just when I said I didn't think Gabby had any spark, she's been ignited here.
I think, she's a little bit of a roller coaster ride. She puts herself on.
Love 15.
That's Amy's beautiful kind of cut overhead. She realized how deep Martina was playing. Martina was closer to the back screen than to the baseline, so Amy was able to let the ball drop and get it in her corner.
Whoop.
15 all.
Almost took that pom-pom off.
So I believe that's 1 for 7 on the short balls for Amy. And again, I hate to harp, but I think she just needs to drill a player on that shot. And ideally the right side of a backhand volley or spotting.
Gabby's doing a good job of the placement on her overheads. Keeping them deep. Oh, Martina didn't tell Gabby that Amy was in. Great get. Nice grab.
So if you
got to
see your
keep her
opponent
eyes
sneaking
forward.
up, it's called a blitz. And if you see it, you call it out to your partner, Jerry.
Got to let her know so you can change her overhead.
It was a great time to sneak because Gabby had hit about 15 off-speed overheads, was letting the ball drop, and that's a perfect time to blitz.
30, 40.
Still have a break point. You saw Cynthia moving into the net as soon as she saw how hard the ball was hit into the back screen, knowing that Amy would drive that ball off the back screen. And she knows her partner's moves. Amy has that combination of shots where she hits that sliced, heavy overhead spin down the middle of the court, pulls the ad court player out, and then hits a swinging backhand volley. She keeps it deep and low. Gabby's not hitting more overheads like that to Cynthia. Right at her. A lot of speed, a lot of spin. That's it.
And that's the one, and maybe she has to feel a little bit more positive when she's hitting the overhead to go after that. I mean, it seems so obvious for you watching. And I think that's a tough play for Cynthia to defend.
Yes. Yeah, we actually talked about it before the match. Oh, don't mess with her. Put that ball on the service line.
And to Cynthia's credit,
Yep.
she didn't feel great about that miss one shot ago off of Gabby's overhead, and she just took it right back to her.
Now she'll use that as fuel. One of the toughest competitors out there. This is effective placement on their overheads, keeping the backcourt chasing.
Bring him into the middle on the low slicer and going out to the corners. Bringing the players in, constantly creating openings.
Game. Dardis and Shay. Dardis and Shay lead 5 games to 3. First set.
Sometimes there are mighty misses, and that was a mighty miss. That was a huge shot. Great opportunity off of a really short lob.
Yeah, Gabby and Martina need to stay positive right here. They're in this match. It's 1 or 2 shots. They're right here. Good play. Kick them while they're down. Don't swing it to their partner who's not in trouble.
So the men's final, Jerry, will start at the conclusion of the women's final?
Yes. Yes, it's scheduled for noon or right after.
30 love.
So that was a big break there for Cynthia Dardis on her serve here, up 5-3. And Gabby's got to put that ball in play. Gabby's got to not look to the other court here and realize the importance of this moment.
Amy will be pleased with herself because she's not known for her drop shot. It's always a little scary for her, but it's the right play.
Well, you have to do it to pull the players in, to push them back. It's always about creating the openings. So it might not be a drop shot winner, it just is a shorter ball to pull them in.
Right, one shot leads to the other.
That could be a song, Jerry.
I'm not singing. Well placed. That's a backhand, swinging backhand that Amy has, and she hit it on the service line deep, so it hit the back screen but died. Martina's backhand down the line. And Amy and Cynthia will be cock-a-hoop with how they played that first set. So we'll be right back in just a moment after these messages, right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live.
Meet Joe, designer, procrastinator, and chronic overpacker. His work takes him everywhere, so he takes his work everywhere. Fortunately, his spacious room at Hyatt Place lets him really spread out whatever he's working on, or getting around to working on. It also has just the thing to get him going in the morning. A few of the ways we've created a place just for you. Hyatt Place. Welcome to a different place.
Welcome back to the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live. We're watching the women's final. Dardis and Shay just won the first set 6-3 from Niculescu Ondrejkova. I'm Jerry Viant, and I am joined by Patty Hogan. And Patty, what do you think Gabby and Martina need to do to get into this second set?
I think they need to play with more purpose, take some initiative, a little better teamwork. I feel like they haven't sustained their effort here. They've gone up and down a little bit, and it's been a little bit more. They're in this first set kind of as a function of one week game that Amy and Cynthia played. I think Amy and Cynthia are off to an amazing start here, and I feel like Amy's cut overheads are really dictating play, keeping Amy and Cynthia in perfect control of the net, taking away the power that Gabby in particular has off her drives that really was a key to their semifinal win. So we start the second set, Gabby serving.
15 love.
Just want to mention too, we have a new APTA app. You can go onto the App Store and download that. You can follow the tournaments and all the latest news, live scoring. That was a drop shot.
Short volley.
Seen too much of that because Amy and Cynthia do such a good job of placing their overhead so that Gabby hasn't been able to step in, and that's why I'd like to see off of Gabby's screenplay more movement, put herself in a better part of the court where she'll see, you get more looks.
And that move by Cynthia, that was laser-like forehand return to serve on a wide serve. That was beautifully executed.
And she's added that to her game over the last few seasons, to her credit. hates to lose 1 point. And Cynthia hates to hit it in the net. And that's the same expression in practice.
That's a big play by Cynthia and Amy there. We saw Gabby winding up. Cynthia headed over to the side screen, the deuce court. Amy came over to cover the next shot, negated that offensive weapon of Gabby on her overhead. Here we have it again.
First game of the second set to Niculescu.
And again, that's a kind of a spark that Gabby does need, and she does have one of the best overheads in the women's game in terms of hitting a shot that just really is hard to defend, hard to catch up to. She hits it so hard, it's 5 degrees, and that ball came almost up to the net. So that's a big hold for them to start the second set. We're in the finals of the Philadelphia Open in Wayne, Pennsylvania, out of the Waynesboro Country Club. Now Jerry is a betting person based on 10 years. Does this go 3 sets?
I'd like
Dardis
to go.
and Shay.
I would like it to go 3 sets. I'd like Gabby and Martina to start attacking more. Gabby's got to take those overheads and go hard at Cynthia, get her chasing in the screen.
But see, I think this is the defining moment for Dardis and Shay here to be able to close out this match. You have to discard the first set, whether you win or lose it. But for them, this match has huge consequence. Could tie them up with Delmonico and Gebbia. National rankings going into nationals in Connecticut in 2 weeks.
That counts as a drop shot. Gabby got to it. Cynthia knew she was going to get to it, and then she volleyed it behind Martina. But
So
yes, this match, just to continue with your point, this match does have points value going in that make a difference to the nationals. That's okay, it's the right shot. So last night, for those of you who may not have seen, we saw a 3-set battle where Gabby and Martina took out the #1 seeds of the tournament, Kerry Delmonico and Lauren Gebbia, in the tiebreak, 7-5 in the 3rd set. Dardis and Shay defeated Liz Cruz and Roxy Enica in the other semi-final.
I'd love you to talk about the difference in overheads, why it's advantageous for Dardis and Shay to get Amy hitting more of the overheads with that slice versus Cynthia's down-up overhead. What's the difference, Jerry?
Because the ball that Amy hits, she lets it drop lower, and she hits the back of the ball with some underspin on it, so she can keep it deep. She lets it drop. The closer it gets to her, the more control she has, and she can pick spots on the court down to a board or two. So she slices the ball deep to those spots, and it stays low in the screen. So if you try to take it off the deck, it's such a heavy spin, it's hard to control if you don't have your footwork set. If you let it go into the screen, it doesn't improve your position on the court. It actually makes it worse because you're going back and low. Whereas Cynthia tends to reach up, her point of contact's higher, and she hits the ball flat, down and up. What's she doing?
She wanted to see what it would feel like to be on Martina and Gabby's team.
All right, wait. Is that our plan? I have no idea what just happened while she went down the other end of the
Something
court.
about the smell of gas, I think. We have some heaters outside. I think Cynthia's a little concerned about. that. I see someone over there working on the connection. Perhaps it was loose.
Oh, God, it was out!
30-40.
Gabby and Martina can use their athleticism more. Pick up the speed of play, be more aggressive, make things happen. Dardis and Shay are too good when they are dictating and controlling the points. They're smart. There's that formation where they've got Cynthia's. Yeah, on the left side. On the right side. Amy on the left. Little confusion there between Gabby and Martina.
Amy's the taller of the net players, hitting that slash overhead right now.
See how she sets her paddle early. She lets the ball come down to the paddle. She's so accurate with it. I think it's one of the most underrated shots.
And there are so few winners that you can hit on a paddle court, where if you have that opportunity on your overhead, you do get some nicks off of it. Amy's hit a couple here already.
That's what she's got to do. She's got to go after it.
And Amy actually hit a down-up overhead and created the ball of life for Gabby's forehand there. I think they had a little hesitation, Dardis and Shay, on if they were going to pull off their switch right then.
And there's no court over there. It's tough to have that low percentage third. The ball's below the level of the net. Better to go at your opponents and between them, not around them.
And right there you have Dardis and Shay. Cynthia was the left of the two players, and I think a lob from Martina would have been the right shot, the shot for her to pull off. She didn't have to force anything wide. Dardis and Shay are a little less successful with this formation, and that's because of the difference in height of Amy versus Cynthia going back on those really good lobs.
Cynthia does a good job getting back on top of the net when she knows her opponents are going to drive.
Gabby was looking for the drop shot there.
So many choices when you get a short lob.
So Gabby's done a great job playing screens, become a better defender, but right there, she saw the short lob. She thought she had to defend short, so she moved in and was vulnerable behind on the screens.
Martina would like concentrating on giving Cynthia every ball.
So instead of hitting overhead side to side, you're thinking they're going to go after Cynthia a little bit. And that would be wise after that beautiful two-handed backhand from Amy. And that's a winner. We're tied up 1-1. Second set here in the finals of the Philadelphia Open, our last stop in the APTA's Grand Prix Series. And Jerry, do you want to talk about the overall standings going into this event?
For the Nationals?
Not the Nationals, but just for the Grand Prix Series here. These are our 1 and 2 teams going into this event.
Well, we have a clear winner for the Grand Prix Series. Dardis and Shay had wrapped that up before we started the tournament. So they'll be getting their name on that cup, the first one for the season. Just letting Amy get her routine going. She likes to hit that slash overhead down the middle and then the swinging volley cross court so it hits the side screen and dies in the back screen. She can hit that with her eyes closed. Gabby's got to take that ball and spin it cross court, go right at Cynthia's left hip, make her have to get out of her own way, become a backside and start the chase. I wouldn't go back to Amy.
I'm not sure if the sun's a factor, Jerry. If Gabby looks towards Cynthia, if she doesn't look right into the sun. I'm not positive, but I think that could be a factor. I'd go outside and check, but it's too cold.
Nice snowboard. All right, that was a must hold for them. Gabby Martina up 2-1 in the first set, having lost the first set 6-3.
I think Gabby likes it when she can start moving at the net, cutting off some shots. I think it's might be important for Cynthia to take one return down the line. Maybe try to get Gabby playing a little bit more flat-footed again.
Dardis and Shay had 85 points in the Childress Cup Grand Prix going into this tournament, and in second place, Gabby Martina had 57. Liz Jaffe Sutazium in third with 52.5 points. Hallie Bodman, Liz Haywood, 50. Anya Kazakevich, Heather Prop, 48. It was a hotly contested new series. I think it was a success for the players. They enjoyed going after the points.
Amy Shay is serving, down 1-2, second set, this final match of the Philadelphia Open.
Oh, I think she should have got out of there. She made a good duck the first one, but then you've got to get off the court. You can't be a target.
And really, Cynthia made herself vulnerable for that play by kind of just hoping that she could get low. She had two opportunities, perhaps, and she's got to get out of there.
Yeah.
And no harm, no foul. It's all part of the game. You walk on the court, you're going to get hit it.
Yeah, that was the right shot. She hit her in the middle of the back.
Does it remind you of one of our former opponents we played often, Jerry? I think she's in the Hall of Fame. I think she lives in South Carolina now. Robin Fulton. I mean, it was a big part of the game, and I learned so much playing against her because, she gets that short ball. She gets an offensive opportunity, and she would make you pay every time. Same with her partner, Deanne Tucker.
And they didn't headhunt. They took the right shots. Great serve by Amy right at Gabby's body, nice and deep. And it's that same kind of motion spin that she gets on her overheads that she also gets on her serve. That ball's a heavy, heavy ball.
And Martina's just a little too deep. Went for a little too much. If she's going to drive from back there, maybe go a little higher over the net and go right at about, chest high of her opponents.
This is one of these moments in the match. 3-1. Gabby and Martina are up. They lost the first set 6-3. Run. Be out of there. Martina needs to step up closer to that baseline and then go on a 45-degree angle and cut that ball off. But the short lob was set up.
And even though it's 5 degrees, you see how Gabby went back so beautifully for the ball, got low as she was approaching the back screen, had her paddle low, and easily could keep the ball in play.
Drop shot winner, Patty.
Jerry, I don't have a category for miss-hit drop shot winners, but I think that might, if we're starting it, that's going to be the first.
Nice deep serve by Gabby, down the tee. Gabby got that volley off of her shoelaces, made it look easy. She does it all the time. Really gets down low and keeps her paddle face up. Again, that's Martina has got to tell Gabby when they're sneaking in on that blitz.
To Amy right there, because I love how she moved her drive a little bit. She saw there was a little bit of confusion, and you love it when your opponents both go for one of your shots.
Amy swoops on plays like that. Right, just like that, they turn it around. That's why Dardis and Shay are so dangerous. They are never out of any match. They give you very few opportunities to capitalize.
Dardis and Shay won the first set here 6-3. Finals of the Philadelphia Open. The crowd's gathering. You can feel a lot of anticipation of this exciting matchup we have coming up in the men's final. Drew Broderick and Jared Palmer up against Johan Duran and Mark Parsons. I see people outside, Jerry. We've got the heaters going. They are bundled up. And there's something about watching a match live outside in the cold that is definitely something you see here in Philadelphia often.
Well, it's moved up to 12 degrees and it's very sunny. Not as windy as last night.
Cynthia Dardis is serving 2-3, second set. Good aggressive play. She just missed by a tiny bit there.
That was a shaky swing there.
Easy to have a shaky swing when you look up and see Gabby and you know her return. That looked very close up
Caught
the
the
middle
outside of the line. .530.
Martina kind of caught Cynthia and Amy a little flat-footed there. To her credit, she just put the ball in play and they kind of screwed up their coverage.
That is a huge point to just give away. You're up 530. You have to see that your opponent is not coming into the net and just roll the ball over and come in behind it. The pressure, that's a great rip by Martina. The pressure right now is on Amy and Cynthia. Gabby and Martina have got to get energized and stay positive and keep going after it. Just find a way. Just hang in.
And right there on Gabby's little shot. I mean, it's tempting to go for the third of the court that's lower percentage, but I don't think she had to. I think she could have picked off Amy on her right hip and break them down. Take advantage of the short ball.
Cynthia gave up on Amy there. They're going to be talking about that tonight on the ride home.
And I was thinking, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything.
Oh, Cynthia rolled her eyes. Amy was laughing. She says, what, you think I'm not going to run that ball down? Come on.
So Gabby's clearly frustrated there. Another miss up the line. That's her second return to serve error in this crucial game.
Nice deep lob by Cynthia.
You'll notice Martina sliding literally over into the doubles alley so that it's clear that Gabby's going to take the next ball on a lob.
Again, Gabby and Martina need to get that positive energy going. They are in this match.
Niculescu, Ondrejkova, they lead the second set, 4-2.
4-2. Let's see if Martina can get some serves in the box right off the bat. She's got a beautiful service motion. She's a big, big serve.
I'd like to see Martina take some more of the overheads and maybe switch like Cynthia and Amy do, because I think Martina's got a wide range on her overhead, and she does have that low slice ball. That might help her a little bit with her mojo on her serving. I feel like she's not hitting very many overheads in this match. Do we have a stat for that?
I think Gabby's got to take that rolling overhead and just keep swinging it at Cynthia. Any short ball that she can. Make her have to chase the ball. Great lob by Cynthia, deep down the line, and that's part of why Gabby's not getting a lot of looks. And when she does get that short ball, I think she's just got to go after it. Got a heavy right to left swinging overhead. confusion. Start the chase. Right shot. That's a great couple of gets her on the drop shot. And I think that speed of play, even though Gabby and Martina lost that point, I think that's a better game plan for them rather than sitting back playing into Amy and Cynthia's hands. Because right play by Gabby down at Cynthia's feet this time.
And that's the play you often speak about, where maybe Cynthia would be better off letting that ball go through because she had to volley it from right off the deck. Two, Martina serving. Sorry. Okay.
40-30.
Nice combinations of shots from both teams, attack and counter attack. That was a little scary. Just wide.
And that's a veteran move to let that ball go, just for her to judge that that ball was going to be slightly out. Pretty incredible.
Just save game point to being down 5-2. The big difference between 5-2 and 4-3. That's the play.
Ondrejkova.
And right now, Gabby and Roxy are really the only two female players that can hit that type of overhead consistently. So a lot of the women players are not used to seeing the spin and the speed of that kind of shot off of the screen. That's a big hold, 5-2. Gabby and Martina up in the first. Dardis and Shay won the first set 6-3.
So Gabby and Martina, I feel like they've been provided the opportunity to hang around in this match, and that's always dangerous when you do have some offensive weapons. And I just feel like Martina and Gabby are feeling a little bit better out here. They're playing a little bit looser, a little lighter. And what we talked about, or I mentioned to you, I didn't really want to bet you $1 that we might go 3 sets at the beginning of the second set. It's just a tendency by Dardis and Shay. Some somehow things turn a little bit, and they end up in a lot of three-setters. Amy Shay serving here, down 2-5, second set. Dardis and Shay won the first set, 6-3.
Mosey up to net. Got to get right up there, be in position, and if your opponents call it out, that's okay. But be ready. Don't mosey up thinking maybe I hit it out and then get caught with that ball down at your feet. Nice swing off the back screen. Cynthia was running up the side screen then before Martina swung at that overhead.
Do you think she deterred Martina's overhead?
I don't know. I don't know if Martina saw her, but I think Cynthia's expecting that she's going to see more hard overheads. What? That was the right move. Martina has to let Gabby know. You have to keep your eyes forward. You can't watch your partner hit their overheads, because when they lob deep like that after you've hit a couple of push overheads, it's a great opportunity to sneak in and blitz, and Cynthia just got a little too excited.
This could be going to the chiropractor on the way back to Connecticut after this.
This is the type of play that I expected to see more of with Gabby and Martina. That, you know, hard hitting, a lot of spin, a lot of footwork.
Beautiful lob by Cynthia.
Because she found Martina's left shoulder deep, forced her to hit a backhand overhead. Martina's misjudged where she was on the court.
And again, that's just a mental lapse there. Gabby's to the left of the two players. She's in a position to take more of the overheads there.
Yeah, but
they could have communicated right away.
Yeah, that lob went straight over Martina's head. I think Martina should have taken it, but Martina got off the court, and then there was like that confusion.
But I'm saying the moment Martina decided she was out of the play, I think Gabby had to pick up on that.
We'll see how they regroup as a team. And this is the stuff that Dardis and Shay love. That little crack. They'll use it to their advantage.
40-30. Niculescu, Ondrejkova lead the second set 5-3.
Inch by inch, Dardis and Shay will stay in this set. Nice firepower.
All.
Nice aggressive move. This is what Dardis and Shay do so well. They are in fighting for every single point, putting the pressure on Gabby and Martina. How many times have we seen this?
40.
We've seen it a lot, Jerry. Beautiful return serve.
Great volley.
30. 40. Game, Dardis and Shay. Niculescu, Ondrejkova lead the second set 5 games to 4. Dardis and Shay won the first set 6 games to 3.
Two great return of serves there from Amy in particular. I love that she put that ball low. She was aggressive. I love her attitude right now going after this. They've crawled back into the second set. And Cynthia Dardis is serving at 4-5 down, but they won the first set 6-3. A lot of time. Dardis and Shay talking about what they're going to be looking for, how they're going to try to cover these drives.
Gabby is looking at the other court, and she just, if I was Martina, I'd be right in her eyeball to eyeball. Come on, let's go. They've got to stay in this right now. Dardis and Shay will take it away from you in a blink of an eye. Martina told her that time. Oh, she caught onto that one. It's got to be a little bit more backside rather than just straight out like that. Well done, Cynthia. Kept the ball in her sights, and then fast feet, slow hands.
That's a big miss right there.
Well, that's the experience. We're seeing the experienced veteran team showing how to hang in 1 point at a time. They never worry about the score. They play the same way, the same intensity, no matter what the score. And good things happen when you stay positive and you stay in that mindset. They don't send their team on an emotional roller coaster ride, so they're even kill.
And that's an amazing comeback there from down 2-5. Now we're at 5-all.
Martina serving. We watched her struggle with her serve yesterday. between the players. That return of serve.
15-30.
Gabby's so quick up there. She's got an incredible set of hands to hit that ball deep at Amy's feet. Great shot. Whoa. That was a great change up by Gabby there. Cynthia was over on this far court, I think, in this condominium complex in anticipation. That ball coming to her. Amy didn't even think for one moment that ball was coming to her. Great play by Gabby. I think it was good.
Same spot, right between them. High percentage.
There's that beautiful height you talk about off of Amy Shay out of that ad corner.
Small bird alert. It's a big difference when that ball hits the back screen and breaks to the side screen. You have to chase after it. It's going away from you. That's after you duck so you don't get hit in the head with it. Yep.
Kudos to Amy there. She moved that second drive, found Martina's right hip. Classic breakdown there.
Laser-like accuracy with that shot. She's in the court. Oh.
Advantage, Shay.
And you know what? I don't even though it hit the net and rolled over. It's not a lucky shot. It's a function of them staying so positive.
Ball is good.
That was an awkward moment here. Amy hit a great shot through the middle again. I think Gabby sort of made a call hoping. Not sure she got a clean look at it. And thanks to Tim, our APTA umpire up there, again, he just made the decision and play goes forward. So now we're at 6-5 in the third
Dardis
set.
and Shay serving for the championship.
They won the first set 6-3.
Dardis and Shay won the Midwesterns January over Hallie Bodman, Liz Haywood. They've been a finalist in the Patterson and Long Island 3-set battles. Actually, all of their semifinal Chicago was 3 sets. The Lake Club semifinal 3 sets.
Love.
And right there when we talk about playing the score, Martina has to put that ball in play. Down 6-5, first return off of Amy. You've got to apply a little bit more pressure on that first volley. Make Amy hit it.
Nice transition.
Beautiful lob by Cynthia there.
Because it was so deep.
Another great lob.
A little confusion between and Gabby and Martina on those middle balls. Nice grab. If I could put a mark on the net where Amy hits 75% of her drives, it is within inches. She goes between the players. Martina's got to stay on the court and take that drive that goes between them. The player on the right takes the drives.
So we have 3 championship points here for Dardis and Shay off of Amy Shay's serve.
See how they just turned that second set around? They were down
5-2.
5-2 and just 1 point at a time. I think Martina's got to take those overheads going over her head.
I got it.
45.
Match point number 2.
Now look how Amy takes her time, gathers her thoughts. Nice,
Beautiful.
volleys.
Beautiful lob.
Seen it time and time again. I mean, you've just got to hand it to Dardis and Shay. They are mentally tough. They know how to play. They know how to construct points, their court savviness, their strategy, but most importantly, they play as one unit.
And they reeled off 5 straight games here in the second set, Jerry. And, you know, Gabby and Martinez should be proud of their final performance here, but Amy and Cynthia, I mean, they should be over the moon because they really took it to them and came back and really proved that on a bigger stage here they can get the job done, and hopefully for them that gives them a lot of confidence in nationals in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Gabby and Martina definitely established themselves as a team, a true contender for the title, and they've made remarkable progress in, when I just think it's just one season from when we watched them in the quarterfinals last year. So their game's going to keep improving, and they've got pieces where they're learning, they're students of the game, they teach the game, so they've got a paddle in their hand every day. So I look forward to watching them in the future. I'm sure they'll be in a lot more finals, but right now, hats off to Dardis and Shay for another big win, and nationals in 3 weeks, Patty.
It's going to be so exciting, and it's just the national championships this year have more depth on the women's side, And it's going to be exciting because there could be a couple of teams who could pull off a win. I mean, Anna and Vicky are headed in #1, but they're going to have a lot of contenders here going after them.
All right,
Jerry,
well, we're going
thank
to
you.
take
That was
sorry.
a great final here, the finals of the Philadelphia Open, our last stop on the APTA Grand Prix Series.
Yep, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back and interview Dardis and Shay, and then followed by the men's final. Be
Thank you,
right
Jerry.
back. The APTA Network presented by eNet Live. Patty, pleasure doing the matches with you.
As
We'll see
always, Jerry, I'll see you at
you
Nationals
at
in a couple of
Nationals.
weeks.
Okay.